What? In the rain, right? In the rain. That's why we love. That's crazy.
All right, we're ready to continue on with Auburn. We'll ask Coach Pearl for some general comments, then we'll take your player questions and let them go, and then we'll finish up with Coach. And a reminder to please identify yourself and the media outlet you represent when you ask a question. Coach?
A couple things. Before the game, Coach Golden came in my locker room, and we had a little exchange, and that rarely happens, before a basketball game, and because sometimes that's sacred space. But Todd knew that he could come in, and we could hug each other and congratulate each other and being in the game, and weren't looking forward to playing against each other, and neither one of us wanted to be the gracious loser. And I'm just so proud of Todd, and what a great team. That's a really, really good team. Their fourth game in 4 days could have been a factor. And we're good. And so congratulations to Florida on a tremendous season. The markings of a great program, the character and the culture of the players. These guys have been really easy to support. All right, they've been really easy to support. Johni could have gone anywhere in the country, could have left a year ago, wanted to graduate, be an Auburn man, and I know he's glad that he did, because he did that for his family, but he also did it for Auburn. And I know Chad, taking advantage of this opportunity. Sometimes young people just aren't as grateful. Sometimes part of the reason why I got emotional is I'm just grateful, blessed. And I love that about our team, and I love that about these guys, right? And so winning the championship this year means even more because the league was so good. I mean, this is. I was telling Garth before, and I told my son Steven, we've won a few of these. I think this one is the most special. Maybe it's because, it's in my 10th year here at Auburn, or because the bond that this team had. I wanted it really badly for these guys. Or maybe just the fact that this league was that good. So proud of my team. Last thing is just my coaching staff. Our staff was amazing. To have 3 preparations in 3 days and to be spot on with what needed to be done, and the guys locking in. Johni came into breakfast this morning. I won't tell you exactly what he said, but it was wake up and let's get to work. And you know what? When your players are doing that, then they know. He knew that when he went upstairs to go to bed, he knew where his coaches were. And when he got in that room this morning, where were your coaches? In the room, trying to do what we could to try to get them ready. So it's a beautiful thing when players and coaches respect each other and know that they could not accomplish it without each other. Could not accomplish it without each other.
All right, we'll go to questions for either of the student athletes. Let's start on the right side, front row.
It's Justin Lee with Opelika-Auburn News. Johni, just what can you put into words? You came to Auburn, and I know you wanted to win a championship. And I know you want to do more in the NCAA tournament, but this is something that won't be taken away from you. How do you put it into words?
First and foremost, I got to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without Him giving me the opportunity, this platform, I wouldn't be here. I'm a believer, and I think the Auburn family has a good culture, and I knew that coming in, and we playing for a coach like BP and the coaching staff that we have and players we have and the bonding that we have and the chemistry that we have, it just makes it more special because I wanted it for myself, but I also wanted to see the smile on my teammates' faces and my coaches' faces because we worked so hard to get here.
Other questions? Let's go to the third row on the left.
Chad Patterson with WRBL in Columbus. This one's for both Johni and Chad. Florida made that run in the second half. They cut it to a 45-44 game, and then it seems like you guys just kicked it into another gear. What did you guys see on the floor that allowed you to just turn it on and put the Gators away?
Johni?
Basketball is a game of runs, but it's about how you respond. You got to take the punches, but also got to give some back, and I feel like we came to the sideline, and that was their run, so it's our turn to make our run now. And we kind of went on a little run, and we just never look back.
Same for Chad?
How he said, it's a game of runs, but at the same time, how Coach said, there's a 4-day playing. So I feel like at that point, when they made their run, we had fresh new guys come in, and I feel like the guys who came in just turned it up a whole different notch, and we executed it, stayed calm, stayed composed, because how he says, a game of runs, but we stayed composed and just came out there, executed, and then once we figure it out again, we didn't let down.
Next question, front row here.
Johni, you guys, in following you guys this year and being around you guys, you seem to take exception with the narrative that Auburn couldn't win away from Neville. I heard you guys in the pregame. What does it mean to be able to come in here and win straight games to take home a championship in kind of silence?
That wasn't Neville, but if you look around, that was Neville. The Auburn family, they're gonna ride right behind us. They're gonna come and support. That's what they did. I met a couple fans in the hotel lobby at 8 o'clock this morning, and I was kind of still half asleep a little bit, and they was like, we heard you guys, we came up here this morning. So it's like, dang, like they came down here to support us. And then just go out there and, hear the claps and the congratulations, it's special. We have the best fans in the country, and I believe that, and I feel like we showed that today.
Okay, next question, third row on the left.
This one's for Chad. Ike Jones with the War Report, Auburn. Chad, before the season, there was questions about whether or not your game would translate to the SEC. Now you've made the all-tournament team. Just kind of take a look back at that time that you've played so far this season, and how do you feel about that moment for yourself?
I know some people didn't believe in myself, but I did. I've been playing Division I before. This is not my first time. I played against some top Power 5 schools, and the coaching staff and the players, they all believed in me. I know, it took me a little time to, transition a little bit because, it's a faster game, better players. But once I found myself, my role in this team, and the guys, accepted me and just helped me out, how to get it within the offense and defense. It just basically everything clicked in together, and even coach believed in me even more, helped my confidence, and I had to just come out there and just did what I do my whole life, just play basketball.
Okay, question on the front right.
Chad, I saw you after the game on the court, FaceTiming your folks, your family. Just anything you want to share from what you told them and what they told you, and just what it did mean for you to be able to call them?
I was on the phone with my dad, and sadly he couldn't make it up here today, but I was just showing him that I made the all-tournament team, and it was just a really special moment because I know they're super proud of me and very happy, and I just want to share a moment with both of them because I missed them, but yeah, it was just a little family moment going on, just showing them what was going on.
I have a question on the front, right here on the left.
For both of you, throughout the tournament, even near the end of the season, you guys have shown an ability to be able to adjust how the game is being called. Auburn plays a physical brand of defense. Can you talk about what it's like being out there and try to play without fouling and still come away with the W?
Johni, would you go first?
Yeah. Like you said, we got to adjust to the game. Every game is going to be the same way. That's why this team's so good, because we can adapt. If y'all want to have a shootout, we can have a shootout. If y'all guys want to, rough it up a little bit and play more physical, we can do that too. And this team's special, and I think I give credit to my coaching staff because they prepared us for these type of things. They prepared us to be able to score high numbers and score the ball, or to sit down and guard and get stops.
Same for Chad.
I feel like when you have a 10-man team we really love him, but Leo went down. But when you have a deep team, that we all bring different type of things to the table. And how Johni say, if you want to go rough it up, we can, because we got the pieces to do that. If you want to have a shootout, everybody on our team can shoot. So it's just whatever, how you want to play or however we feel like, we dictate the game for us. So we just come out there and just listen to the coaches and just execute their plan.
Got time for one more question, anyone? Okay, last question right there on the right in the front.
For both players, if you can, just Bruce is the first Auburn coach to have won this tournament twice. No one else has done it. Just what is it? What does that say about him, and what makes him special? What sets him apart?
Chad?
Something that really makes Coach special is that he's one of them coaches, because, I've been to a couple of schools, but he's one of them coaches that you can really go and sit down and talk to. I've been through, a couple places where you can't really do that, but out here, you can really have a conversation with Coach about anything, especially basketball, for sure. But, he's a great mind. He knows where to put you in places to succeed. And I feel like he deserves that because, he really puts in the work. I see him every day stressing. I even have to come out there and be like, Coach, calm down a little bit or something. But, I love him because, he's always working. He's first one in there, last one to leave. But he's just really a great, amazing guy. And I'm glad, we helped him accomplish that big time.
Johni?
I ain't never told him this before, but, when he recruited me from Moorhead, when he called me and I realized I was talking to Bruce Pearl, I kind of got smiles on my face. And I was like, oh, a little starstruck, Bruce Pearl is really calling me right now. But,
Then they got to know me and they knew better than that, right?
No, but, he's one of the best coaches, if not the best coach, in college. Or, to me, he's the best coach I ever had. And I had a couple good coaches, but he's a player's coach. He can relate to you. Like Chad say, we've had plenty of conversations, not about basketball. He wants to see how the family's doing. But basketball-wise, you talk to him as well. If I have a problem with something or he sees something we have a problem with, we know we have a relationship so we can talk. Or if something's going good, he come back about it good. We talk about what I'm doing good and what I need to improve on. And I feel that's why I came to Auburn. And we're SEC champs.
Thank you. We'll excuse the student athletes. You can return to the locker room.
We ain't done. Be careful. Be careful. 6 more, maybe. Yep.
200? We gotta go 260 or something.
All right, we'll continue on with Coach Pearl. Let's start on the center aisle on the left.
Coach Pearl, Ike Jones with the War Report. About a little over 8 minutes left in the game. Jalen Williams goes up for a dunk, doesn't get a call. On the other end, Florida gets a transition basket, and you called a timeout. Was that what was said during that timeout? Because after that, that's when Auburn really went on the run that kind of propelled them to the victory.
Well, I wanted to break the momentum. I thought Florida could potentially go for another run. Fatigue was a factor. It being their 4th game, I didn't want to have many stoppages in play, and so I debated it. I thought they missed it, and so I just want to let it stew for a little while. I didn't go crazy, but it was a big miss, and so just didn't want them to go on a run, and I didn't want to give Florida that momentum, and so we got organized and settled down a little bit.
Okay, let's take. We got 2 over there on the left.
Coach, yesterday you asked for the Auburn family to come up and show out today, and it sounded like Neville Arena North today. Just what impact did the Auburn family have on this game today?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I've got great respect for history of basketball. And, the SEC tournament for years was Kentucky's spring break. That's what everybody knew it as, whether it be Catlanta or, what it's been here in Nashville. And I admire that. When I was at Tennessee, we traveled some, but this is different. I keep telling people Auburn's really a special place, and we're an everything school. And, we put the call out. And we were playing for a championship, and you don't play for championships very often. And it's a Sunday, and most of the people in Alabama are in church on Sunday morning. But thank goodness, because they got their phones, you can now watch church online. So all of the Auburn family got in their cars. They drove up north from North Alabama, Central Alabama, South Alabama. They put Church of the Highlands on there. They put Auburn Community Church on there. They put their church on there, and they watched and listened. And I'm sure they probably asked the Lord for some favor. Which I don't often do, but I actually did a little bit today. So, no, it was great. And I think what it does too is it's the reason why College Game Day has been at Auburn 4 years in a row. It's the reason why, and you need to almost make that statement to the SEC office and to the leadership there, that that when they see that, they recognize that we've got a great program. I don't know what it does, but I want Auburn to be one of the better programs in the SEC. I want our commissioner to believe that. I want his assistant Garth to believe that. But the only way you do that, and I want our fans to believe that. I want to believe that. And the only way you can really do it is by consistently being competitive and honoring the game with the way the kids play, playing hard, playing the right way, and then just look at this arena. So very important. Thank you for the question.
Okay, fourth row on the left side.
Coach, Florida was 1 of 13 from 3. One of the things statistically that may get lost is they averaged 23 three-point attempts per game. So what was the idea going in and not only stopping the three, but stopping the attempts?
I think part of it was 4 games in 4 days. Okay, Florida had 3 great wins. I mean, the teams that they played against to get to that championship game, and they played great basketball, I'm sure, and then fatigue is a factor. And then when Micah goes down, that hurts their depth even more. And I will just say this now, guys. That arena got quiet. Both teams came over to the bench, and both teams got in a prayer. My team pastor, Jeremy Napier, prayed with tears. He came from Marshall, where Micah was playing, knew Micah and knew the family. And he was praying, and we were circled up. That's the SEC. That's folks down here in the South. I wish there were more places in the world like it. But I hated the young man got hurt. But again, it's a testament to our fans and what we, and the respect that we have amongst our programs.
Okay, question down on the front center.
Coach, we've talked a lot about matchups this season, even this weekend, about how Auburn has matched up with their opponents. But we've also talked about the balance of minutes that you'd like to play. Chris Moore has stepped up and just given you some great minutes so far this year. Can you talk about how his contribution has helped you continue to play that way?
I don't think Chris would mind me sharing this with you because it's just true, and he's such a great competitor, obviously a 4-year guy, and you don't see many of those guys around as much anymore. But Chris wants to win so much for everybody else. He wants to please so much for everybody else that sometimes he puts so much pressure on himself that he wasn't playing the game and he wasn't playing with confidence because he didn't want to let everybody down. And I said, Chris, this is a game. A game. You gotta have fun. It's okay to make mistakes. You gotta, and because you are putting so much pressure on yourself, you're right, you're not playing well. You're right. So you're gonna get another, because I moved Leo Berman ahead of him. But I said to him, Chris, you're gonna get another shot at this. You are. He said, Coach, I know I am. I said, just remember, don't be afraid to fail. It's okay, okay? And he's playing like a man. He's playing hard, he's playing physically. Now listen, he never lost his voice in the locker room. He never lost the respect of the players. Even when he was on the bench and he led from the bench with his attitude, and he would have been fine if Leo Berman was out there playing today. He'd been the first guy off the bench, but he saw the opportunity and he took advantage of it. You gotta be ready when your opportunity comes. And when you fail, all right, learn from it. Just learn from it. You're gonna get another chance. What would you do differently this time? I think right now Chris Moore's doing things differently.
Questions? Okay, let's go to the right side. There you go.
Bruce, for Jalen, how happy are you for him? Just a guy that's been here 5 years. Jalen.
Yeah. You know, I haven't talked to Jay Will. He's won championships before, but I think this probably means a lot to him because of being a senior and a graduate of the university. And so, you know, he obviously is really important. You know, I like to think our front line is as good as anybody in college basketball. When you talk about both Dylan and Johni and Jalen and Chaney, those four guys together. And again, don't forget, one of the things about, you look at the stat sheet, the guy that played the most minutes in the game for us was Johni Broome at 24. But everybody's got double-digit minutes, and the fewest minutes played was 15 and change. And so you heard those guys talking about the willingness to share it. And a lot of guys want to go and they want to play 35 and they want to get all the shots and they want all that. And that's fine. That's fine. But it doesn't always translate to winning, and it doesn't translate to having a great locker room.
Another question on the front right.
Bruce, we let the players brag about you for winning the tournament twice. You know, Sonny only won it once. So what does it mean for, you know, not just you, but also what does it say about the program and your staff, everyone who's been a part of these two wins?
I kind of appreciate the question, but you know, you got to be a servant leader, and you got to lead, obviously leading by example. And so the thing they both talked about, I am there before anybody else, but I'm paid to be there before anybody else, and they also know that I don't always get it right. They know that I make mistakes, but I think they know that I'm doing it to the best of my ability, and I've got to overcome some of the crazy things they do, and you know, some of the decisions that they make, and they got to overcome me too, and we forgive each other. You know, I thought Johni Broome was particularly locked in today. Didn't have a great game yesterday. We talked about it a little bit. He was accountable for it and got some disrupted. I saw Mississippi State was double teaming him. You know, Tolu had one foul the whole game, and Johni was in foul trouble. And sometimes with the kids, they get sensitive about that stuff, right? And so I think he kind of learned from it. We hung in there together, but he's shown great leadership. I know I got a lot. Denver Jones could have easily been on that all-tournament team. Do not sleep on Denver Jones. I told him after the game, thank you for your patience, okay? Because again, he was the leading scorer in his conference a year ago, and he's our best, I'd say he's our best defensive guard. There are lots of things he could do better, but he can really score. And he's playing great right now. And what a tremendous piece. And I thought our young point guards both played well. Didn't turn the ball over well. And Trey particularly got, you know, both Trey and Aiden, you know, made some shots that made a big difference. And again, they're both sharing it. I'm sure they'd each like to play 30 minutes, and they'd ever like to start. So it's kind of this, I guess, in very much, it's a sum of our parts.
We have time for two more questions. Let's go to the far back there. I don't think you've had an opportunity yet.
Joe Rexrode, The Athletic. Bruce, this system that you guys have, has it been seamless all year? Has it been easy? Has it been an adjustment to get to where you are now in terms of these guys being so selfless?
It's been a career of double-digit minutes for 10 guys. If you look at my numbers over the career, 9 or 10, sometimes even 11. Dr. Tom Davis was my mentor. Back in the day, we would run and press. You can't ask kids to play as hard as we play and play them all game long. They're going to take possessions off. And so we talk about that in recruiting. Sure, there are still challenges. There are challenges during the course of the day about get me the ball. You know, Johni wants the ball. He wants to go down there and score because he knows he can. But he also knows that the other guys also, you know, are out there. So sure. Chad Baker came off the bench almost all season. And then when Lior got hurt, and actually that was Jalen Williams got hurt. We lost Jalen. Jalen was out with a knee for a couple games. And I needed Chad in the starting lineup to give us a little bit more offensive firepower. He should have been starting all year. He was the better player. But we brought him off the bench, and he never complained about it. It's enabled us to start better with having just a little bit more firepower. So it's always give and take, and it's open. They understand They understand where they're at. They understand why they're there. And they do understand what their roles need to be.
Let's take the last question on the left side, third row.
Coach, you talked all postseason about your biggest asset, your biggest key was the depth of this team. How did the depth of this team help you win the SEC title, and how will it help you moving forward?
Well, I think that obviously you look at the shared minutes and the shared roles. But the biggest thing is I told the returning guys, you're going to like Chaney Johnson. You're going to want to be really good friends with Denver Jones. You're going to want to play point with Aiden Holloway out there on the floor as your point guard. Trust me, Chad Baker-Mazara, he's got some special. And they're all good guys. They're going to fit in really good. And, to get those guys, you know what I told them? You're going to really like playing with Johni Broome. You'll never meet a better man than Dylan Cardwell. Chris Moore's as tough as they get. Jalen Williams unselfish as they get. Trey Donaldson is a hard worker and a tough guy. And so, as a result, we get what we get sometimes we deserve, in the sense that making the decisions of having the quality, and then your staff. Who do you surround yourself? You want to judge me? Start out by judging me by my wife, first and foremost, okay? And then judge me by the company I keep. I'm willing to be judged by my staff. I've got as good a staff as there is in college basketball. By the way, tonight, Stephen Pearl had South Carolina, and his team of coaches, Chad Pruitt, Corey Williams, and their team of coaches had Mississippi State. And it just worked out that Ira Bowman and Mike Burgermaster and their team, I split my staff up in thirds. And we had 3 fantastic preparations. And I tell you, as a head coach, where I've got to do each one of them. Coming into those meetings after a victory, you got to get me on Mississippi State quickly, because I got to get it to the team. And my staff did a tremendous job, and the players did a good job going to work. I asked them this morning. I said, yesterday we were a little rushed. We had an 8 o'clock breakfast, and I said, I need another half hour, 45 minutes. What do you guys want to do? He said, Coach, they said, let's get up earlier. Let's meet at 7:15. And I gave it to them. I said, no, we could stay at 8 if you want to, and we'll have a little less time to rest before the game. He said, no, Coach, let's get up earlier. Let's get our work in, and let's go take care of business.
Thank you, and congratulations.